All right. Hi, this is Kerry from Bead Warehouse, and I got my friend Michael here, and I have trouble with your last name.
Well, that's because it's one of those,
I keep on saying
double-digit Pollock names.
Yeah, I keep on saying Jablowski, or and it's not.
No, you're not far off. But I've heard most renditions of the name Jakubowski.
So it's Jakubowski?
Jakubowski, yeah.
Jakubowski. Now I'm going to go, and now I've got it on video, so I'll go over it a few times because I tell my wife Michael Jablowski's here, and I know it's wrong. I'm butchering, and I apologize for that.
Like I said, it's hard to offend me with my last name.
Okay, all right, I like that.
I'm a purebred Polak, 100% Polish on both sides. So
I'm Ukrainian. You believe that? Russian and Ukrainian. I fight with myself constantly. All right, no more jokes. Okay, so what do you do?
I am a gemstone addict. I have been. I mean, this gives you an indication of how fanatical.
Oh! I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah. So I've been collecting and studying since I was probably about 11 years old.
Yeah.
My first retail jewelry job I had when I was 15.
Wow.
And it's just snowballed into a lifelong obsession.
Yeah, it's good when you have an obsession and you're also making money sometimes, or you're trying to make money.
People make money in this business? Yeah. I seem to spend more than I make.
Yeah, you collect. And
I do.
Yeah, every jeweler, anybody in the jewelry business collects.
That's true.
My parents, my dad's 94, my mom's 87, and they owned a jewelry store, and it's like, what am I going to do with this stuff? And I'm like, well, I'm going to smelt it, after you die. I got new use for the stuff. I'm sending it to the refinery.
That's one of my small worries after I die. Like, what's going to happen to my collection? So
yeah, well,
in my will,
I would say leave it in the will to me. But look what happened when that happened with Larry David on. Did you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm last week?
I did not.
They talked about leaving Richard Lewis leaving his will to David, and the guy dies like the next week in real life. So, yeah, okay.
I think it's in my will that I'm leaving most, if not everything, to GIA, so I can have a door frame named after me.
Oh, that's cool.
I won't get a whole classroom, but I'll get a door frame.
Make it a latch. And your favorite stone today?
No. My favorite stone every day, and it has been for the last couple decades, is tourmaline.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the main reasons is it comes in literally every color.
Well, so does garnet.
It does now, yeah.
Yeah.
After they found the blue color change in Madagascar.
Yeah. Now, tourmaline's beautiful. We have a lot of tourmaline beads.
I know.
And, some really nice ones. So they've been selling lately, thank goodness. Yeah. Thank goodness things sell. But you brought opals.
I did. Martin, and the reason for that is, again, it comes in a multitude of varieties and colors and,
Well, let's talk about varieties. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? So you're the gem guy. We got Australia, we know that.
Yep.
We've got Ethiopia.
Yep.
And we're going to explain the difference.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Peruvian, but it's not in Peru anymore. It's Madagascar.
No, they're still digging some. Yeah,
but is it commercial?
Yes.
Okay.
There's still commercial amounts being found.
Okay.
No, the qualities that I can't, speak to.
Well, bead quality usually in something like this is of the lower rung, right. The more affordable. But the last time I bought Peruvian opal, which was a ton of it, maybe 10 years ago, I know it came from Madagascar.
Really?
And they bleached it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, no, that's good because it looked ugly without it being bleached.
It's not jade, Kerry.
Yeah, but bleaching to me is okay. Okay, dyeing, not okay.
Right.
Bleaching, okay. It's like cleaning it.
It's just like with cultured pearls. They bleach everything to make it more presentable. And
and if you're buying a specimen, they're going to use muriatic acid on it.
Yeah.
So that's okay, like the shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, and then we have Mexican fire opal. Which is that orange. We've got some of that here. Mm-hmm. And then I have a friend that had an opal mine in Oregon.
Yep, Opal Butte.
Yeah, Spencer. And it was right outside of Salmon, Idaho, not Oregon. It was Idaho, Salmon, Idaho.
Well, there is Oregon too.
Yeah. Okay, so is that it?
There's Honduran.
Yes, there is. Yeah, we had Honduran opal beads one time. We had the guy that had the mine come into the store.
Wish I could have met him.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think so. You know how the Australians are?
Yep.
The outbackers out there? This guy was worse. So
yeah, but
Yeah.
Honduran opal. He probably had nice material.
Yeah, he did have nice material.
That's all I want. I just want the goods.
It was the most bizarre thing. He came into our other store when we were 5 buildings north, just out of the blue, to ask me something, and we all knew the same people.
Right on. Okay. Then there's also, which many people don't know about, there's opal from Tanzania.
Really?
Yeah, and I brought a piece to show, but a lot of times it is like a golden yellowish honey color.
Okay.
And it's chatoyant. It has a cat's eye.
Okay, so we've got a cat's eye chatoyancy. I think we did a video on what chatoyancy is. That's a cat's eye effect. Now, somebody was in here the other day. I don't know if it was you. Might have been you. That was explaining to me that a star is chatoyant.
In a manner of speaking. So there's chatoyancy, which is cat's eye, and then you have asterism, which is the star.
Right, but what he was explaining, that chatoyancy name is up here, like beryl, and then you've got the cat's eye, and you've got the other one. I don't know.
They're two separate phenomena.
Okay,
they're caused by similar things usually, but separate phenomena.
Cool. All right, so we know Australian opal, generally they pull it out of the ground for 2 years before they sell it on the market? Or is that just an old wives' tale?
It's an old wives' tale.
Okay.
There's so much money that goes into mining opal in Australia. They want their money as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they're just going to flip it as quickly as they can so they can go back and dig some more.
Have you seen that show, Opal Hunters?
I have.
Isn't that great?
I love that show.
Yeah, it is, but I think the valuations are way off.
Most of the time, yeah.
Way off.
I mean, they want to make for good TV.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, but what I found out watching that is they shut down Minabee. Yes. Now, Minabee, when they found the opal, was in slices, nice slices like that, and it just had a peel on top of it. And you could just polish off that peel and lose very little weight and have a nice free-form opal.
Yeah, a lot of opal in Australia forms in seams. So
right.
There's just, in a couple of the pieces I have at home, actually, you can see there's layers of precious opal with the color alternating with layers of potch or common opal that has no play of color.
Right. So. The Opal Hunters is a great show. So it's a little far-fetched, but no, great show.
Well, I mean, it's for the general public, it's actually quite informative.
The technique is very informative. The technique is not faked.
No, not at all.
So just the valuations at the end. Yeah. Oh, this is worth $35,000 a carat. I'm like, in what mine? I think, okay. All right, so we've got, and that's a very stable opal.
Usually, yeah.
Usually.
I mean, all opal contains water, and therefore, if the amount of water in the opal drastically changes, things can happen, but not always.
Yeah, it's old wives' tale, cotton ball with liquid with water on it.
It doesn't always help.
It doesn't.
I've seen opals that are stored in water and they crack anyway. So.
Yeah, opals, so you can look at it the wrong way, and if it's going to crack, it's going to crack.
Yes.
Now, Ethiopian opal, on the other hand, has got a whole host of problems.
Yeah, it has. There's a stigma attached to it, rightfully so, because a lot of material that comes out of the ground ends up cracking. And just like in Australia, a lot of these miners want their money quickly, so they gather it all up in a lot, they sell it as a lot, and whatever happens after they get their money, they don't really care.
Yeah.
So it's up to us, that's up to us to hopefully let it sit for a little while, let it dry out, let it cure, and hopefully nothing cracks.
Yeah, the problem is that when you get it wet, it changes color.
Yes.
It absorbs the color in there. You got lotions on.
Yep.
It's got to be a problem. It turns brown. It gets cracked, but sometimes miraculously, you leave it alone and it's back to normal. It's weird opal.
Yeah.
I would say the bigger beads, terrific product for beads. Absolutely terrific product. Rings, if it's set in a bezel or set in a prongs, it will shrink. You've heard that, right?
I don't know about shrinkage size-wise, but I have definitely had stones lose weight.
No, shrink size-wise. That's what I don't know. Physics, I don't know. Does this happen? Is there a possibility? This is what I've been told.
In theory, I guess it is possible, because if something loses water, the atoms, shrink, or they compress.
It would crush, though. I mean, I'm starting to think about what I just said, and I think, how the heck's that going to happen?
But again, I mean, it's not going to be any kind of dramatic, effect on size. Maybe a percentage of a millimeter.
Enough to make it just a little loose in there.
Probably.
That's what I was told.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Ethiopian opals can be beautiful. The black Ethiopian, 99% has been smoked.
Yep. There are some naturals I've seen, though.
But
usually if it looks... off, if it looks brown, it's most likely been treated.
You want to buy black opal, Australian. And so let's go to Peruvian. Is really not the opal that we think of as opal, is it?
No, not at all, because it has no traditional fire or play of color.
But why is it still opal?
Because it's made comprised of those same silica spears compacted.
Okay, so it's got enough of it, the silica spears, enough of the mineralogy to be an opal.
The Peruvian goods, though, are usually found, the bright blue stuff is found near copper mines, and that's what gives it that Peruvian blue opal that's like teal color like you're wearing.
So we could call Paraíba. No, it's another story. We'll talk another.
Star Wars,
yeah,
Kerry.
we'll talk. That's another story. And we have pink Peruvian also.
Yep.
And I've got some blue Peruvian opal. It's not that this color. I've got a little deeper blue. And the Mexican fire opal, orange.
Yeah, actually, it spans like the entire spectrum from completely colorless to the deepest of cherry reds.
Yeah,
and everything in between.
And some of it does have a play of color in it, the better stuff.
Yeah, so
like opal.
Yeah, because the weird part about it, well, not weird, but I guess it makes sense. But the less color that opal has, the more chance you'll have of getting that play of color or that fire.
So the less deep of the color?
Yeah, so the more body color you'll have in the Mexican opal, the less chance you'll actually have of getting that play of color.
Right. Got it.
So basically what's happening is that color is masking the refraction of the light, and preventing that play of color from happening.
Cool. And American opal, the Oregon and the Idaho, that's just problematic opal. That's just cracky.
Yeah. It's very, very, very few pieces of it are actually stable enough to
it's not a jewelry. It's a specimen opal.
More of a collectible.
You put it in mineral oil inside a jar with a cork, and you leave it on the table, and look how beautiful it is.
Exactly. You say, look at this. It's domestic. It's from the United States, and it's pretty.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Virgin Valley, Nevada stuff.
Okay. I forgot about that.
I did too.
Yep.
Oh, don't forget, there's also Louisiana opal. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite opal back in the day was fossilized shell.
It's funny you say that.
Hey, you have a fossilized shell?
I brought one with me.
All right, we're going to look at that. So we're going to go from here, and we're going to go and do some beauty video of the opal for you. All right, so first up I've got here, this is Kyocera opal. This is a synthetic opal. You're seeing a lot of this today. And it looks really cool, but the colors are kind of weird, although some of it looks pretty good. What do you think of this stuff?
It has its place for sure. I'm not going to poo-poo it. I don't hate it, but there's always something to be said for what Mother Nature gives you as opposed to what man gives you.
Yeah, and I think the deal with this is cutting it correctly.
Yeah,
because
there's a piece on the bottom left in their little cup that was like a solid green base, and if you cut it wrong, you're going to lose all that. So
yeah. This is pretty good looking stuff. All right, what are we going to show first?
Oh, let's go with Australian.
Australian opal.
Yeah, because it's the most popular.
What mine do you think this is?
This is Lightning Ridge. This is
Lightning Ridge.
Solid Lightning Ridge black.
Wow.
Carved into the shape of a fish.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's kind of fishy.
Yeah, well, I have a design in mind for it. It's going to be a little mini aquarium.
My dad did those with little diamond bubbles and stuff. My mom has one big and a beautiful. She got, do you know Opal House?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got it from Opal House. Actually, Opal Center.
Okay.
Which is the brother-in-law.
Gotcha.
In Los Angeles. I don't know if they're still around anymore. I think Opal House is still around in Hong Kong. So what do you sell something like this for?
It's on the back. I mean, it's not an inexpensive piece, but it's certainly not the most expensive thing ever because it's...
Hey, I like these labels.
I love those labels.
Oh, $873?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No,
it's 11 carats.
But, I mean, if
so that's $80 a carat, give or take.
Yeah, $75 a carat.
Yeah. Nice.
But I brought 4 different Australian opals just so we can go through the different varieties found. Actually, 5. So that was black. This one is gray.
Then that's the base color of it.
And a lot of people will try to sell this as black opal.
It's not. It's gray. Yeah.
Priced very, very differently, and looks quite different, as you can tell. Next, we'll do a white opal.
Do you have any concrete with you? Concrete opal?
Louisiana stuff?
No, the concrete from Australia. I forget the name of it, but you have to do sulfuric acid and sugar.
Oh, the Andamuka.
Andamuka. I had a friend who wrote the book on treating Andamuka.
And if you look at this one,
That's got chatoyancy. Is
this
that crazy?
actually, that's why I brought this piece. This
Look at this.
actually has cat's eye. Now, this isn't caused by needles of rutile
Right.
like you find in
It's
other
just how it was
stones.
cut.
That's part of it. Now, it does have a very linear type structure, but yeah, this is very, very rare to find.
That's cool. That's really cool. I want to ask the price on that.
So, and you mentioned earlier
This is a shell.
the shell. So this is a fossilized shell that was replaced with opal.
Right.
And this would be considered crystal opal because it's transparent. You can actually read through it. So the marquise
cool
that you
piece.
just showed was a white opal. So you
Got
have
it.
black, gray, white, crystal, and now a fun little carved boulder opal.
Yeah, Babs likes using the boulder opals in her rings.
I do too. Well, first of all, they're a little bit more durable.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's not solid opal, which it does require some care because it is a relatively soft stone compared to others. So boulder opal is a good way to do it for a nice pop of color and for a reasonable price.
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Let's see. We'll do Mexico.
Mexican opal.
Chicano. Let's see. So here is.
Of course, we could call it American opal, can't we? Because Mexico is part of America. I do that with turquoise because they have the turquoise mines in Mexico, and heck, that's American. I mean,
It's in North America.
exactly, just like the United States and Canada is. Canadians are Americans too. All right, this is the Mexican fire opal,
Yep.
and there is fire opal just like this in Idaho, correct?
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. I don't know that I've never seen this hyper orange, but it does have a little bit of. It can be in the yellowish.
I seen a U.S. that was hyper orange.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, ooh, cool Mexican opal, and I got corrected by the guy selling it. So,
Nice.
hey, I don't know everything.
And this is a perfect example of when I mentioned earlier about the play of color being found in the lighter body color
Yeah.
as opposed to the darker, richer, deeper body color.
You all can see that. Look at that color in there.
So it's a bicolor that has like half of it's got play of color or the fire and half doesn't.
Yeah, that's cool looking.
I thought so. And then this is another Mexican opal, but this one is contraluz.
Contraluz, what does that mean?
Spanish
Someplace.
for against the light.
Okay.
So face up, as you
Oh.
see, has very little, if any, play of color.
Look at the
When you shine light from the side,
yeah, it glitters around the edge. Look at that. Look, these. It like bursts, or is that my cataracts?
hopefully,
Could be my. No, I got some cataracts going on.
but when you shine the light from the back or from the side, you get the play of color, but not when the light is directly above
Gotcha.
you.
Gotcha.
Oh, and then this one. This is the Mexican highlight opal that glows like wild under UV light. So this is from Zacatecas, Mexico.
You got a UV light?
I do.
All right.
And it's called highlight. And when you put
Oh,
UV
look at
on
that. Look at that.
it- and this is actually caused by traces of uranium.
Oh, all right. I'm not touching it. No.
But yeah, super fun.
That's cool.
Considerably more rare than some of the other varieties.
Yeah, that's when you go into the discotheque.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I like diamonds that fluoresce.
I was gonna say, put some fluorescent diamonds with it.
Yeah, oh, man.
Yeah. Here's a nice Ethiopian opal. And I had this one cut in a certain way to show different patterns of the fire. One side has columnar structure, one side has more pin fire, and the other side is kind of a combination of both.
This is nice. This is a Harlequin on over here or not? That's not Harlequin.
No, not Harlequin.
Okay.
It's more of a pin fire. Then there's the columnar
Look at
structure.
that. Yeah, look at that blue just pop right up.
Yeah. Generally speaking, if you're looking at opals and you see that columnar structure, most gemologists would lean towards being a synthetic right
I
away.
would have leaned synthetic on this immediately.
But yeah, this is a natural stone. But that's why I had it cut this way, just to show off the example of.
You can make that into a sail
Oh yeah,
on a sailboat. A foresail.
everything's forces. And a good example of dyed Ethiopian material. And as much as
Yeah.
Yeah. And anytime you see oddball colors of an opal that has an odd body color, Always assume it's dyed or treated.
You'll see this in beads a lot.
Yes.
And I just won't carry them because I've had trouble with smoked where it fades.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it. I don't know what the durability of that is compared to the smoked.
Yeah. Well, this pretty much lives in the safe, so it doesn't get out much.
Yeah.
But this does remind me of a story when I was working for a gem dealer in Southern California. An owner of a jewelry store came in looking to replace an Ethiopian opal because their customer spilled red wine on it and stained the opal.
Yeah, that ain't getting fixed, is it? No. You can't pour club soda in the opal and expect the stain to come out.
Yeah, no. That would be nice, but yeah, there's the some really fun Peruvian. So Peruvian
that's interesting.
Opal, colored by copper, just like pottery of tourmaline.
Would this be dendritic?
They are. Those are dendrites.
Okay.
They almost look like little plants in there.
Dendritic opal.
Yep.
See, I do know something.
Of course, you know a hell of a lot more than I do on certain things. But I brought these two examples specifically to show the stark contrast and what happens with the color when the stone's transparency changes.
Okay, now I have never seen Peruvian opal facet. It's always been beads.
Right.
Or caps. I've never seen this. But then again, kyanite is the same thing. And then Katrina, a friend of ours, well, I won't say she accidentally bought something that was supposed to be sapphire that turned out to be kyanite.
You'd be surprised how often that's happened.
Yeah.
But this faceted stone is so transparent, its facet quality, but the color isn't as strong or as saturated as a stone that has less transparency.
This was not cut in India then.
No.
Because I would have cut that with the belly. Don't you think, to bring the
this
color?
was actually done in Brazil.
Yeah, where they actually know how to cut stones.
And this is actually another Peruvian opal. It's pink, comes from a different part of the country.
Do you know what this looks like?
Coral.
Conch pearl.
Let me find a conch pearl that big, that nice.
Yeah, no.
I retire.
I've seen at the Miami show once in a while they'll have conch pearls, but you don't see the flame inside of them.
They're just colored.
They're whatever they are. That's a pretty color. It's a totally different grade than what we have as beads because even I couldn't afford this in beads. This kind of quality. Is this the creme de la creme here?
Yeah,
This is the finale, the fireworks.
Yeah, well, sadly, no fire to speak of per se.
Oh,
this
but
is
look
that
at this.
Tanzanian material, and this is one of the best
Look at this.
chatoyant opals I have ever seen in my life.
Now remember chatoyant, we talked about this before. Chatoyant would be cat's eye.
Yes.
Tiger eye has chatoyancy.
Tiger's eye, you can find like a tiger's eye. Hawk's eye is another chatoyant stone.
Right.
Yeah. Sunstone a lot of times will be chatoyant.
Yes.
Anytime you get another one is tourmaline, a great example of a chatoyant stone.
I don't think I've had chatoyant tourmaline. I do have chatoyant kyanite. Really bad kyanite beads, but beautiful because they're chatoyants. Not kyanite, morganite.
Oh, okay.
Morganite. And you can get chatoyant burls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a few cat's eye opals.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's super fun material. And I get very, very limited deposits, not as not nearly as large as anywhere else.
I'm going to look.
Go for it. So 6 carats and what, 200 a carat.
Okay. Your 7's a 1, right? That looked like a 7 for me. Okay, so $1,200. It's a very rare, very, very rare stone.
It is, and it's
a collector stone.
It is for sure, and for for the size, it's for the location, it's a good size, laser sharp eye. So,
all right, I got the wrong lid. These actually have different lids.
They do.
And I used to sell these jars. That's a pretty good lid. All right, cool.
Love it.
All right. So what'd you all think of that? I hope you all like the different opal, and of course we do have opal here. I've got some boulder opal. We didn't talk about boulder opal.
We didn't. Well, we briefly touched on Australia, but not the different types of opal found.
Right. And we do have boulder opal here, which is one of my favorites, the Yahweh.
Oh,
beautiful Yahweh nuts.
The Yahweh nuts. Yes.
Yeah, that's real nice. So I appreciate you coming down here and having this nice little talk.
Well, I mean, anytime I get a chance to come hang out with you, I do.
It's always fun. It's always educational for both of us.
Oh, yeah.
More for me than for you, okay?
Well, I don't know. Like, you're the bead guy, I'm the gem guy. Like,
yeah, but
you teach me about beads. And
I don't have any traditional background of this, except I've lived in this business all
that's
my
the
life.
thing. I mean, trial by fire and trial, school of hard knocks.
Yeah, but you've got the technical, you took the GIA, you did all that kind of stuff, and that really helps me a lot. And I've got an emerald to show you, too.
Don't tempt me. Tucson just ended and Atlanta shows next week.
I bought this emerald back in the 80s, and when I met Babs, she was a sculptor, and she wanted an emerald ring. And I said, here's an emerald, here's a block of wax, here's some carving tools, go at it. I still have the emerald, she never went at it, so,
That's probably
I'm not supposed to talk about this. No.
probably better for you.
Yeah. All right. Hey, if you like what we're doing here, subscribe. I'm going to put, you're on Instagram?
I am.
I'm going to go put a link to your Instagram in the bottom here.
Thank you.
And if you like any of this stuff, you sell B2B, which is business to business.
I do wholesale.
You got privates.
I do wholesale, I do
privates.
retail, I try to take care of everybody.
Okay, cool. So if you see anything that you like on his Instagram, tell me about it and I'll beat him up for price for you, okay?
Well, you always get the friends and family price, and I can
right.
always pass on the savings to your viewers. So.
All right. You guys subscribe. We love you. And
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, buddy.